What's up, everybody? As active duty service members, we've all tried to buy multiple ribbons and devices in anticipation of messing up the ribbon construction process. We found it even more demoralizing paying high prices for mounting services. Luckily, the Perfect Ribbon provides the professional mounting look at a fraction of the cost. They take the hassle out of preparing ribbons so you can put on your uniform. Head on over to the show notes and use my referral code to get 20% off on your next purchase.
Say welcome back to Meech Speaks.
Welcome back to Meech Speaks.
No, Meech Speaks.
Welcome back to 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 Meech Speaks.
I want to say something. A prize, motherfucker.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Meech Speaks. I'm your host, Demetrius Thickman, also known as Meech Speaks. Now, do me a favor real quick. Head on over to your favorite streaming platform and leave this podcast an honest review, whether that's on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do. Oh my God. So I'm going to just keep it a buck with you. Sunday was so damn ghetto for me. You know what I mean? And I was having so many issues with recording on Sunday. And I think it all just came to a head when I finally got seated and actually got started. And what I mean got started, one of the hardest things for me, especially when I'm doing an episode, is just it's the intro part. You know what I mean? It's me getting my rhythm. It's me getting my snaps, my pops. And it's such this, how do I say, frustrating thing, because I start the episode over so many times until I know I'm sounding right. So once we get over that hump and we finally get into the flow of the episode, that's where the magic starts. Now, for those who don't know, I edit my own episodes. I do the audio, I do the video. I'm pretty much a one-man show. And yesterday showed what happens when you're a one-man show. So we get finished with the episode and we get down to the audio. We edit the audio, we edit the video. The episode is looking good. I'm excited. You saw it in my Instagram. I posted a video and it's time to export. And when I click the export button, my computer, I don't know what the fuck happened, but I see this like flashing dot on there. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I look it up and turns out, you got to shut the computer down. So once I shut the computer down, I realized that I didn't even save the file that I was trying to export. So with that being said, there goes 3 hours of work down the drain. And I'm going to just keep it 100 with you, man. Like, after watching 3 hours of work go down the drain, the last thing I wanted to do was just record anything after that. So I packed it up and I was just like, hey, man, hey, man, you might as well just go ahead and take this L. Hold this L. But this episode had been sitting on my spirit that I just didn't feel comfortable. And I felt like it was unfair to not drop an episode this week. So here we are. Now, as we talk about this episode, the idea of this episode, it comes from a conversation that I just recently had with Artavius Merritt. Now, for those who don't know who Artavius Merritt is, he goes by RT. Me and him have done multiple episodes on this show. And the crazy thing is that every episode that me and RT have done have been in my top 10. And it's not my personal top 10. These are my analytics. Like, these are the episodes with the most downloads, the most impressions. I love having these conversations with RT. So last week, the conversation was no different. And during that conversation, RT asked me a question. And he said, what is the best version of you? You know what I mean? Like, what qualities does this person exhibit? And I sat back on that, man, because, that's not just a quick answer. And I said the qualities that the best version of myself exhibits is confidence. Now, for those who don't know, man, like, I am a speaker. I do work at the Martial Arts Center of Excellence. I instruct Marines. Hell, I fight Marines. So I do have a confidence or a certain air about myself. But there are moments where my confidence wavers, in front of past failures, in front of new experiences. Sometimes when I'm just not sure of myself, my confidence can be at an all-time low. And when I think of the best version of myself, I think of the level of confidence that that person must have. And the way that he walks into a room and the way he speaks about himself and the way that he carries himself. And those are qualities that I want the best version of myself to have. So with that being said, man, like, this episode is all about self-confidence and ways that you can improve it. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the way. So self-confidence is the trust in your skills, choices, and values. It's also an inner knowing of your strengths and weaknesses. Now, has anybody ever seen a confident person? You know what I mean? Like just the way that they walk into a room and they speak about themselves or they speak about a subject, especially something that they're passionate about. It is this knowing of your strength, but also being aware of your weaknesses. A person that's confident, man, like it's not that they're fearless. They have this certain backing because of the experiences that they have. And, being in the military, man, that's just something that you want to have about yourself, especially when you want to inspire, you want to mold, you want to mentor, you want to guide, you want to have some type of confidence because nobody wants to be behind somebody that's not sure of themselves. They're not sure of the plan. They're not sure of anything. You feel me? Confidence is something that you want to have, especially in a relationship, because once again, who wants to be with someone who is not sure of themselves? You feel me? And if you're not sure of yourself, then you're not sure of this relationship. You're not sure of the direction that you're going to go. You're not sure of the feelings that you have. And it's always lack of confidence always opens the door for other doubts. So confidence in itself, man, like, the what and the why it's so important is because having confidence or having lack of confidence will determine how you experience life. And I'll say that again. Having confidence or having a lack of confidence is going to determine how you experience life. Just like what I said, man, like a person that's confident about themselves, they're not hiding within the confines of their comfort zone. You know what I mean? A person that's confident about themselves, they when they speak, you can't help but not listen to them because they're so sure of what they're saying. And it's not this ignorance, it's a backing of experience, it's a backing of knowledge. But a person that lacks confidence, they're usually like a background character. They usually get ignored. Their voice, it shakes when it speaks. Being in an instructor billet, I've had moments where I did not have confidence in a subject, and it shows in my overall delivery of the class. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying what I think is right, but I'm hoping to God that nobody asks me a question. But when I have confidence in it, you feel me? I can get up there. I can go down to all types of rabbit holes because I know what I'm talking about. And that's one thing that I love. Being around people. If you're not confident around people, it's so easy to get ignored. You feel me? It's so easy to go unheard because no one really can hear you because you're not sure of yourself. You whisper when you speak. So understanding the what, understanding the why is important. I mean, one more example. I mean, to be honest with you, for those of us that are in the military, having confidence, man, that's a part of the job. How you supposed to lead Marines, but you don't got confidence in your abilities? How you supposed to lead, guide, and mentor? You don't got confidence. You can't even get up in front of the platoon. You don't got confidence. You can't even dish out taskers. You don't got confidence. Somebody gonna tell you what you need to do. And I bring that up, man, because I've seen the leaders that don't have confidence in themselves, and that lack of confidence breeds self-doubt. And that self-doubt, it breeds a level of insecurity because when you don't have confidence in yourself and you see somebody that does have confidence in themselves and they speak with a certain level of sureness and the Marines gravitate to them and they look up to them, it makes you feel a certain way about yourself. And I've been on both sides of that fence, to be honest with you. Especially being a new corporal, a young sergeant, a new staff NCO, I had the confidence of my past experiences, but there were still things that I just didn't feel comfortable saying, or I did not feel confident saying. And I've also been on been on the other end where I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. We can look it up if you want to. You know what I mean? I know I'm right. And once again, man, I cannot stress this enough. Confidence is so important because it's not just how you feel about yourself. It's also how people will feel about you. Now, before we talk about how to improve our confidence, let's talk about how confidence can be diminished. Now, the crazy thing about confidence is that when we first come into this world, man, like especially as kids, babies, if I had to look at confidence as if it was a level, we're at 100% with confidence. You know what I mean? Like, you ever seen a kid? Have you ever seen a baby? They're fucking fearless. They're jumping off the couch. They taking steps. They doing all types of things because they're not afraid. You know what I mean? And they're sure of themselves. Have you ever seen a kid just get out there and just dance like ain't nobody looking, even though they dancing off beat, even though the dance look crazy, even though, you know what I mean? Have you ever seen a child play? It's the confidence, man. But what happened? You know what I mean? Like, what happened to that confidence that was at 100%? Life. From the L's that we took, from the rejection that we received, from negative experiences. Some of us probably had hypercritical parents. Over time, man, those L's, they chipped at the confidence that we had. And for some, man, like those L's were so big that it took a lot of confidence away from them. So now here they are and they struggle with that. So now that we understand how confidence can be diminished, let's talk about how we can improve confidence. Now, the first thing that I got to say out the way, man, is that the first step into improving your confidence, or the first tip that I can tell you to improve your confidence, is to talk to yourself like you have some fucking sense. I don't know who need to hear that, man, but you got to talk to yourself like you got some fucking sense. See, one thing that you got to understand, man, is that confidence comes from respect. All right. And if you don't respect yourself, how do you expect other people to respect you? We always talk about positive self-talk, man, but we say that as if it's just like this check in the box that we got to say when we talk about mental health. But that shit is really real. And to really put it in a terms where everyone can understand, man, because we can always say, oh, well, you know, you got to speak positive about yourself. No, fuck all of that. Imagine if you were around somebody and every time you messed up, they said that you sucked. Imagine being around somebody, right? And every accomplishment, you know, despite how hard you worked to get to that point, you know, the amount of time that you put in, the hours, the dedication, the blood, the sweat, the tears, they minimize your accomplishments. They always telling you how you're not worthy. You're not worthy of praise. You're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of friends. You're not worthy of anything. How would you handle that person? I bet some of y'all will probably want to punch him in the face. Tell them to get the fuck from around you. Separate yourself. Cut that person off. All these things are valid. But the crazy thing is that person is you. You act like that. You talk about yourself like that. So when I tell you that you got to talk to yourself like you got some sense, man, talk to yourself the same way that you talk to your best friend. Talk to yourself like the same way that you talk to your child. Talk to yourself the same way that you talk to someone who needs love, because you do. And by doing that, you know what I mean? Like when you speak positives to yourself, man, you allow this comfort to you give yourself compassion. And that's something that we all need. You remove yourself from being in this survival state and you give yourself compassion. You remind yourself that you're human and humans make mistakes. So when I tell you to speak positive about yourself, speak positive about yourself. Talk to yourself like you got some sense. The next tip is stop comparing yourself. Just like that person who's constantly, you know, minimizing your accomplishments. Imagine if you were around somebody, you feel me? And every time you accomplish something, they just compared you to somebody else. You know what I mean? You got promoted on the first, somebody else brings up, oh, well, Corporal so-and-so, he got promoted on the second and that was meritorious. You just got it time and grade. You worked your ass off for this job, but somebody comes out of nowhere and tells you about some person who got this job and got better paid than you, you know, or you finally get the dream house, or you at the gym and someone's always there holding up somebody else's stat sheet and comparing your numbers and saying that your numbers ain't good enough, or that you need to work harder because so-and-so is working harder. And I bring that up, man, because just like what I said earlier, you'll probably tell that person to get the fuck from around you. You know what I mean? You'll be ready to fight. You'll rather cut that person off. But you do that. Some of us do that. I'm guilty of doing that. You know how easy it was for me to hop on Instagram and go to somebody's YouTube channel and be like, Demetrius, you only got 21 subscribers. This person has 2,000 subscribers. What are you doing? You're not doing anything. Nobody cares about your podcast. Demetrius, man, it took you X amount of years to get promoted to this rank. So-and-so did it in this amount of time. Comparison is the thief of joy. Every time you compare yourself, you do yourself and you do your accomplishments a disservice. You spit in the face of the hard work that you put in. I don't know who need to hear this, but that's their journey. That's their life. That's their story. That's them. Everybody love to say, mind your own business. Well, I'm going to need you to mind your own business. You know what I mean? The business that pays you, that feeds you. Worry about you. If you hopping online, and you're comparing yourself to other people, understand that people show their best sides online, man. A lot of this shit is fake. And as we sit back and we talk about confidence, man, understand that that's a surefire way to diminish your confidence, because you are trying to accomplish these things, but as soon as you accomplish something, you are quick to compare it. And now the thing that you just overcame, you know what I mean, you worked hard to accomplish, means nothing. So the thing is that now you have no wins, and without no wins, you're not raising your confidence up. You're constantly making yourself feel like you're this big, and you're making everyone else feel like they're this big, when you should be making yourself feel like you're this big. And you should be looking at everybody else like this, not because you arrogant, not because you smug, but because these people don't matter. You do. And I really want people to understand that. Stop comparing yourself. Next, surround yourself with people that are also positive. To be honest with you, surround yourself with people that are positive about you, that love you, that support you. You feel me? And imagine being around somebody and every time you accomplish something, they always hating on you. They ain't got nothing nice to say about you. They don't pour into you. This time, man, that's some of our friends. And one of the things that I want a lot of us to understand is that you want to be around people that will pour into you the same way that you're going to pour into them. You want to be around people that are positive. You don't want to be around people that are negative. You don't want to surround that can't be your circle. That's going to be a cage to you. You feel me? Like misery loves company. Misery loves company, and they're going to constantly, man, they're just bringing you down. They don't want to see you. And this is the thing, though, is that when you surround yourself around other miserable people, the moment that you start to make a change within your life, they will try to bring you down because they need misery around them. They need that company. And how can your confidence, the thing about confidence is that when you surround people that are about you, that are positive about you, that have genuine love about you, support about you, they will pour into you. They will give you that outside validation. Now, initially, I used to say to myself, man, you don't need no validation, but the validation from yourself. Nah, that's not really true. Because how many of us have made something, cooked something, did something, and because we have done it so much that we have become essentially numb to it, blind to it. Hell, how many of us have been to the gym and we don't even realize our results until somebody else brings it up? You need that outside source to remind you that you are you. You feel me? You need that outside source to remind you that you are him or her. And it feels good because it's not just in your head anymore. Other people see it. Man, I remember when I did my first live podcast. You know what I mean? And it caught me off guard when I saw the whole crowd give me a round of applause, man. It caught me off guard because I thought for the longest that I felt like my stuff was good, but I didn't know. You know what I mean? And to be in a crowd around people who were literally pouring into me by they giving me this round of applause and hanging on to what I was saying, man, it made me feel so much better about what I was doing. And it reassured what I was doing and that I was going in the right direction. Having friends there to be like, yo, man, Meech, you're really good, bro. That means something. And it means something on the inside because once again, just like what I said, man, it's no longer up here. It's not just you thinking it. Other people think that. So I will tell you, surround yourself around people who will support you, that believe in you, that have the same love that you have for them, for you. Next, take care of your body, both in the physical sense and in the mental sense. So when we talk about the physical sense, man, like I don't know who needs to hear this, but go to the gym. You feel me? Like it's something about seeing your body transform that just boosts your fucking confidence. And once again, that sounds very subjective. That does sound very subjective. But a lot of us base our self-worth off of how we look. And we're so quick to pick ourselves apart. So if you find yourself in that situation where you're like, damn, man, if I just lost a little bit of more weight, or if I did, if I had this, if you see me on camera, I'm flexing. But if I had more muscles, I would feel better about my, then go to the gym. Go to the gym. Outside of that, man, the endorphins that are released, the stress that gets released, the ability to recharge, disconnect, and align, it does wonders for your body. It does wonders for your mind. And speaking of mind, let's talk about meditation. See, one thing that a lot of people think about meditation is not this namaste shit where you just sit with, your legs crisscross applesauce and your fingers, making some type of mantra. No, that's not it. Meditation can be done in many ways. And the purpose of meditation is to disconnect, realign, and refocus. So by you listening to music, that's a form of meditation. Hell, going to the gym, that's also a form of meditation. Sparring is a form of meditation. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to go ahead and just keep it a buck with you. You want to boost your confidence? Learn how to fucking fight. I really have to throw that out there, man. But if you want to boost your confidence, learn how to fight. A lot of people think that they can fight, but it's a big difference between thinking that you can fight and knowing that you can fight. Next, be kind to yourself. Just like what I mentioned earlier, talk to yourself like you got some sense. But also, man, don't forget to show yourself some type of compassion. A lot of times, like, we tear ourselves down, and when we tear ourselves down, we're tearing down all that hard work that we put into our self-worth because we messed up one time. You're so hard on yourself, but everyone else gets the love that you need. So I don't want to dive too deeply into this because I just talked about it earlier. But once again, man, like, be kind to yourself. Give yourself the same love that you be giving everybody else. And lastly, step out of your comfort zone. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need a win. Like, I'll say that again. You need a win. And in your comfort zone, can you build confidence? Yes, because you're doing things that you're good at. But when you step outside of your comfort zone, right? The thing that makes you scared, the thing that makes you anxious, the thing that makes you want to hide under the bed, and you do it. That does something to you on the inside because it stretches you out a little bit, if that makes sense. It grows you a little bit on the inside because it's like, damn, dog, I remember how scared I was at first, but here I am doing this, and it's like, dang, man, I can't believe that I just overcame that. I can't believe that I just did that. I can't believe that I just got on stage and spoke. I can't believe that I just did my first show. I can't believe that I got in front of this platoon, and it just becomes like this everyday thing, and that is what the confidence will do to you, because it's become now your new comfort zone. That's what I was looking for. Not stretch, not grow. Extend your comfort zone. That's what it is. Buy more real estate for your comfort zone. And by doing that, you got to do things that would scare you. Jesus, man. Like that had me in a headlock. I'm not even about to lie to you. That really had me in a headlock. But with that being said, confidence is something that we all aspire to have. You know what I mean? And in life, are you going to face some couple of obstacles? Absolutely. Are you going to get beat down? Yes. Is your confidence going to diminish? Absolutely. But you have to be able to improve it. You have to be able to boost it. You have to be able to recharge yourself. Your confidence isn't something that is just this mantra, like everybody can get it, man. It's a hard thing to build up. But understand that your confidence is how you are going to experience life. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Now, do me a favor. If you're on Apple or Spotify, don't forget to leave a 5-star review for this podcast. And lastly, hit that subscribe button, because this podcast deserves to grow just as